What is going on, everyone? Hopefully you are all doing well. Welcome to the Inversion Fair Value Gap Masterclass. This is going to be split into a few parts. Today is part 1, and let's jump right into it. If you're watching this video, obviously you are watching the provided video. Now, welcome to the Inversion Fair Value Gap Masterclass. Before we get started, let's cover a few things. Trading is a game of you and the charts. Okay, you cannot control the charts. The only thing you can control is yourself. Now, if you want to be a successful trader, you must learn to control yourself in all situations. The second you lose control of yourself, you no longer have control of anything when trading. No strategy will make you instantly profitable. You need to master yourself as well. Final message before we begin, make sure you join the Arsenal community. This is where thousands of like-minded individuals are available to help you improve as a trader and provide value as people. I'm active in the chat and will answer any questions you have about this course or trading in general. Click the link to join for free. There's going to be a link in the description as well for you to join. Also, this PDF is going to be downloadable inside the free Discord, so you're going to be able to get access to this entire PDF inside the free Discord once the course is over. Okay, so make sure you join that right now, and we'll get you set up. Now, module number 1 is very basic, the Inversion Fair Value Gap Basics. Now, as of today, I'm going to cover Module 1 and Module 2. Okay, so this is a basic video. However, it is important that you have the correct foundation for the future videos, otherwise you are going to be cooked. All right. Module number 1, the Inversion Fair Value Gap Basics. Majority of you reading this course or watching this video already know the basics. However, I feel that it is necessary to revisit all of these topics. Okay, I want to revisit what is an inversion fair value gap, right? What makes it an inversion fair value gap? It's something I want to do because I want you to have a strong foundation. Now, an inversion fair value gap, I'm just going to show you the images here. So this inversion fair value gap, a fair value gap represents an influx of orders in one direction. An inversion fair value gap violates that influx of sell orders, right? So we have this large sell run. The inversion fair value gap violates this sell run, turns it into a buy side run, and we head for buy side. In this example, we have a large bullish run, leaving a fair value gap. We then have a large bearish run that inverts the fair value gap. Now, again, you can read all of this in the course. This PDF will, again, be available inside the free Discord. So join that. It'll be available in a few days once we finish the video portions of this course. Now, this is an amazing signature in price. However, it is not as simple as just seeing an inversion fair value gap and entering. The market requires logic and narrative. This course will be covering all of the tools needed to successfully trade inversion fair value gaps. Now, Module 1, what is an inversion fair value gap? Well, that was pretty simple. Majority of you know that. Okay. Now, Module 2, we need to learn about liquidity legs, or you'll see me mark them as LL. Okay, so a liquidity leg is the relationship between a high and a low, creating a leg of price. Okay, so we can see here in this example, we have a swing low, and then we have this swing high, and between the swing low and the swing high, we have one gap in here. Okay, now you don't have to only trade when it has one gap. Okay, that is more for beginner, intermediate level. When you can start to use inversions, we're going to talk about this in the future of the course, you can start to use inversions when there's multiple in a gap, and you can build that experience to know which one actually matters using premiums and discounts and equilibriums, which you're going to learn in the future of this course. Okay, so example number 1, notice how the liquidity leg is just a swing high and swing low, but how does this relate to inversion fair value gaps? Well, inside a liquidity leg, price will create fair value gaps. This is what you need to pay attention to when choosing the correct inversion fair value gap. When price creates just one fair value gap inside a liquidity leg, it's very easy to know which one to use as an inversion fair value gap since there's only one. When price creates multiple fair value gaps, that's where it gets a bit trickier. To choose the correct inversion fair value gap, we must look at the direction of the liquidity leg. Is it a buy side liquidity leg or a sell side liquidity leg? Buy side liquidity leg goes from low to high. A sell side liquidity leg goes down from high to low. Okay, so this is a buy side liquidity leg, meaning it's going to have a bullish fair value gap, meaning if we're looking to use it as an inversion, it's going to be inverted, and then it's going to have a bearish signature in price. Okay, So let's hop on a chart really quick and let me show you. So let's let me remove all these drawings. So where's examples of liquidity legs? Well, we have what? We have swing high, right? And we have swing low. And then we have swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low, swing high, swing low. All of these are liquidity legs, right? So like from this high and this low is a leg of liquidity, right? All it is a relationship between high and a low. And between these highs and lows, we have a gap in here, a gap in here, right? So what can we actually look for when trading these? Well, again, without logic and narrative and key levels, you don't want to be pattern trading. However, let's show a nice example. So in this example, let's use, this is a really simple one right here, right? So you're gonna notice here, we have this low, we have this low here and this high here. Between this low and this high, we have one fair value gap. When this is inverted, it brings us down to that swing low there, okay? Now we can look and see when price doesn't invert the gap, right? So let's say here we have this swing low to the swing high. We can see price respects the gap and then delivers higher to the new swing high. Okay, this is called a range condition using inversion fair value gaps and fair value gaps. You're going to learn about this as well in the future. Okay, so let's remove these drawings here. And now that you understand kind of the basics of that, what the liquidity leg is, again, all it is this. So price goes up, down, this, inside of between this high and this low, the fair value gap in here. This is the liquidity leg, and that's where you're counting the fair value gaps. Now, let's get back to the drawing board over here. Now, these two things are pretty simple that we talked about so far, and I'm actually going to cover module 3 in this video as well. What I want us to work on in module 3 is this. We want to see the relationship between price respecting fair value gaps and price disrespecting fair value gaps. Do I want to pull up? No, I'm not going to pull up the notes on it, but we'll just use this right here. So not only can we use inversion fair value gaps for an entry, we can also use inversion fair value gaps and the relationship between inversion fair value gaps and fair value gaps as a way to confirm our order flow and draw liquidity. Let's run through a quick exercise. When price is making higher highs and lower lows, what market profile is that? Bullish, pretty simple. When price is making lower lows and lower highs, what market profile is that? Bearish. If only there was a way to determine more about the market using fair value gaps and inversion fair value gaps. Oh wait, there is. Now, when price is respecting gaps in one direction, that is a sign that price is going to continue in that direction. When price is respecting gaps in one direction and then disrespects a gap in the other direction, that is a heavy sign that price is going to deliver in the direction of the inversion fair value gap displacement. Example, notice here, price is respecting this bullish gap. Then price inverts this bearish gap. So we're respecting a bullish gap and disrespecting a bearish gap. This is a heavy signature in price that price is bullish. Now let's imagine price is, let's go to an example and find it, respecting a bearish gap and then inverting a bullish gap. What do we see in here? Price is doing what? Price is respecting a bearish gap, and then what does it do? It disrespects a bullish gap, right? And then price does that. This is a heavy sign that price is bearish, and it goes down to the lows inside of here, right? And takes out all that liquidity. Now, that's just an example of it in a bearish version. Okay, so using this tool, we're looking to see what? Price go up, come down, respect a bit bullish gap, create a bearish gap, disrespect it, and then use it and trade higher, okay? So what we want to see is when we're bullish, right, we want to see this. We want to see price go up, break the previous high, return back into the range, respect the fair value gap, create a fair value gap in this direction, maybe have like an internal run on sell side liquidity in here, right? And then we're respecting the bullish gap here, and then we want to see price disrespect the bearish gap or bearish gaps, in this liquidity leg here, right? So we have this liquidity leg from low to high. We're respecting the liquidity leg's gap, and then from this liquidity leg, we have the gap in here, and we invert that. That gives us a new high, and then price can return back in the range, respect the gap, create a gap in here, disrespect the gap, and continue until eventually price is going to create a gap in here, disrespect it, right, and then create a gap here, respect it, create a gap here, disrespect it, and that's how you get a market reversal, right? Price stops respecting bullish PD arrays, starts disrespecting bullish PD arrays, and respecting bearish PD arrays. That's how a market reversal forms, like with like an SMT or something. We're not going to get into that. That'll be its own video in and of itself, okay? So just kind of a recap of these first three modules here. This was a very basic video. However, it's the introduction I wanted to make for this series because I want everyone to have a strong foundation with their trading. So what did we talk about? Well, what actually is an inversion fair value gap? It's pretty simple. Influx of price in one direction, getting violated to show the price is more likely to go in the other direction. It's just disrespecting a fair value gap, okay? Then we talked about liquidity legs, the relationship between a swing high and a swing low, and then finding how to choose which fair value gap to use. How do you choose which fair value gap to use? I want to get into that in the next video a little more because it's a little bit in depth, but you want to use the one if we have a liquidity leg like this, right, and we're going back up into price. We want to see price invert all the gaps in here and or the highest time frame gap in this liquidity leg, okay? So let me show you an example. Okay. Let me show an example of price respecting, right? We saw this earlier. Price respects the gap in here. This liquidity leg from here to here, price is respecting it, right? And then a lower time frame from here to here, there's a small time frame gap in here, and then we do that, right? And expand higher, and then we respect the gap and expand higher. How do we know the market is reversing? We invert the bullish gaps in here and then start respecting bearish gaps and disrespecting bullish gaps. Okay, that is how you know that we are shifting back down to have a deeper retracement or reversal. Okay, now what can we see in here? Right, we can see we invert the bearish gap here, all the bearish gaps, respect the bullish gap, and then on like a 30-second time frame in here, we would disrespect the bearish gap, and that sends us to the new swing high. Okay, and we've already made a protected low, sweeping out the lows in here, delivering from the mitigation here, so price makes a failure swing, and we're still bullish, right, because we haven't broken this low, and then we disrespect the gaps in here, and then we deliver back higher. Okay, so today's video was very basic. I know if you're more experienced already, you're probably like, yeah, I already knew all these things. However, I want to make sure everyone has the correct foundation with how we are starting, okay? The next video will be module 4, 5, and maybe 6. We'll see how far we want to get. I want to have a few episodes in here so I'm not doing like an overload of info in one video. I want people to be able to watch a video, take notes, and it not take them the entire day, okay? So hopefully you guys had a nice slight education in this one. You know, this was a beginner video. However, if there are beginners watching this, well, now you have a really good foundation of what you're looking for with inversion fair value gaps. In the next video, I'm going to teach you my entry model using inversion fair value gaps called the anticipatory breaker strategy and the anticipatory mitigation strategy, the AVS and AMS. Okay, then you're going to learn about the access points, the key levels, a little bit about drawn liquidity. And yeah, man, it's overall going to be great. Make sure you join the free Discord, okay? If you're not in the free Discord, you're not going to get the PDF. You're not going to get the extra calls, okay? And if you want to live trade with me every day and get my trade ideas and also strong liquidity, there's also going to be a link in the Discord for that. It'll be the same link, and you can just switch it between the premium Discord and the free Discord, and you can do that, all right? So hopefully you learned a thing or two, or at least had a nice refreshment. And I will see all of you in the next video, probably on Monday. I think maybe even, I would say Monday, and then Wednesday for the final the core content of this masterclass, and then we're gonna have the supplemental videos after that. All right, so make sure you join the free Discord in the description, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Ciao.